Good morning to Mr. Andrews and all my fellow classmates. Today, we are going to present about the research portal, which is topic on the factors influencing customer satisfaction in airline industry among young adults in Kuala Lumpur. So firstly, I'm going to introduce my group members, which is Foong Sijia, Eun Junming, Joyce Hayenyen, Chin Li Zi, and N WAMAITHA. Next, I'm going to talk about the introduction of the research proposal. Firstly, I'm going to introduce the difference between airline industry and aviation industry. Airline industry is referring to the companies that offer air service to paying customers, while aviation industry encompasses all aviation-related businesses. Airline industry is just a class in aviation, as aviation also includes the aerospace company, non-commercial flights, and regulation authorities. The robust demand for international air traveling has made Asia Pacific an essential region for connecting flights. Malaysia is a challenging market for airlines due to the intense competition and volatile demand. Most of the Malaysia's carriers have been struggling to achieve the profitability through AirAsia is dominating the domestic and international market in Malaysia. The commercial airlines can be differentiated into full service carrier FSC and low cost carrier LCC models. The most significant difference between these two types of airlines is LCC tend to be cheaper with frequent sales available, while FSC charge higher fares. It is commonly being believed FSC usually offer better service than LCC. However, rules are constantly changing over time. There are strong competition between FSC and LCC on their development, whereby the emerging of LCC play an important part in development of airline industry. Most of the FSCs are establishing own LCC brands as subsidiary, while some of them also offer full service operation with lower cost of operating the main line. In Malaysia, the competition among the two models are high too. Low-cost travel has been increased, which constitute 25% among total travel in Asia and 50% among total travel in Malaysia. The bad reputation of Malaysia Airlines due to the two accidents of the aircraft has boosted the growth of LCC model in Malaysia. Malaysia Airlines Berhad started to change the way of pricing its airfare, as it not only need to compete with LCC but also with FSC. Malaysia Airlines made its operation flexible by offering premium pricing for passengers seated up front, while low pricing for passengers seated in the back of the plane. In order to stand out from this fierce competitive situation in airline industry from worldwide to Malaysia, it has led to the objective of this research, which is to investigate the factors influencing customer satisfaction in airline industry among young adults in Kuala Lumpur. Next.
Thank you, Apple. And I will present about the background of this research. During 2015, the researchers is doing the research about the relationship between the customer satisfactions and airline industry. They found that customer loyalty is directly influenced by the customer satisfactions, and circular model can affect the customer satisfactions also. And during 2016, due to the reason that the customer loyalty can be influenced by the customer satisfactions, therefore, researchers are finding the factors that will affect the customer loyalty in order to find out the relationship between that factors and customer satisfactions. FFP is one of the research topics that used to find out the relationship. Unfortunately, FFP will not increase the customer loyalty, hence there is no relationship between them. Apart from that, demographics was found as one of the factors that can influence customer satisfactions, and flight cancellations is one of the biggest reasons that make customers become dissatisfied. And in 2017, GAL found that service that provided by the airline will also affect the customer satisfactions, and customer satisfactions will positively affect the intentions to purchase and recommend to others. In order to establish long-term customers relationships, it is necessary to narrow the customer gap between expected service and perceived service. Therefore, airport quality is an essential method to eliminate the gap.
In 2018,
Researchers found that different nationality is having different expectations on service quality, customer satisfaction, and customer purchasing intention. This is because they are having different experience on using airline service. Lin, Zahir, and Wang also found that trust can influence customer satisfaction and loyalty. During 2019, Ben and Kim analyzed the top 10 airlines in passengers' online reviews. These analyzations will help to assist in developing a sustainable strategy in airline industry. Besides, CRM is proven to be able to bring the positive impacts on customer satisfaction and loyalty. The security of payment methods and easiness to use will positively affect the customer experience in online market, which will increase the customer satisfaction. In 2020, Lestari and Mujito found that big data approach can find out the factors that influence customer satisfaction. Next, I will pass to Joyce.
For the problem statement, according to analysts, COVID-19 has influenced Malaysia's airline industry as people were not allowed to travel. Airlines are also suffering from the volatility of foreign exchange rates, and fuel prices cannot be controlled by them. Another problem is, due to some incidents, Malaysia's rating has been downgraded to Category 2 in the International Aviation Safety Assessment, which has caused Malaysia's image being affected. Mentioned by Malaysia Aviation growth slow profits under pressure, it would be tough for Malaysia to get back on track in the airlines competition since the competition is quite intense. Thanks to the high demand of China tourists, Malaysia is able to get back on track due to the tourists that are price sensitive were attracted to the low fares being offered. Stated by Slotnick, flawed business models, unexpected costs, and bad management lead to bankruptcies among airlines due to the heavy competition among each other. Such situation caused the consumers to be able to purchase flights at a cheaper price due to the increment in capacity, reduction of fares, and improvement in services of the airlines. Thus, this will increase the loss of the airlines. Moving on will be the research objective. The first one would be to identify the influences of AirQual model towards customer satisfaction in airline industry. The second one would be to identify the influences of perceived price towards customer satisfaction in airline industry. The third one is to identify the influences of airline safety towards customer satisfaction in airline industry. And the last one would be to identify the differences in factors affecting customer satisfaction between passengers that have experienced full service airline, low-cost airlines, or both carriers type. And then next would be the research framework. So for the IB will be the AirQual model, perceived price, airline safety. And then what they are related is to the DV, customer satisfaction. So next I will pass to Lychee.
So now, I will be presenting about the literature review of this research. So basically, there are 3 IVs and also 1 DV for this research. So, for the first IV, which is the AirQual model, it is actually to be used specifically to measure the customer satisfaction in the airline industry. It is actually developed from the SurfQual and also the SurfPerf model. There are actually 5 factors be included in this AirQual model, which are airline tangibles, terminal tangibles, personnel, empathy, and image. It is being categorized into 2 categories based on the researcher's statement. So, for one of the category is positive significant influence. It is being stated by Reddy and George and Iraqi, which support this statement about the positive significant influence. Reddy has stated that all the 5 factors of AirQual models are influencing airline satisfaction, while George and Iraqi have stated that terminal tangibles have influence on customer satisfaction. However, there is an inverse statement by Simset and Demirback that have stated that Terminal tangibles will have no influence towards customer satisfaction. Moving on to the next one, which is the perceived price. So, for perceived price is actually to be defined as the monetary value that is being sacrificed for pursuing a product. It differs based on buyer's subjective interpretation. Perceived price is being categorized also into two categories based on the researcher's research. So, for the first category is positive significant influence. So, Rioni and Vidayati and also Briliana are supporting that perceived price will affect the customer satisfaction positively. However, Tanunsin and Chen has rejected this idea and stated that ticket price will not have any influence towards customer satisfaction. Moving on to the next one, which is the airline safety. So, for airline safety, everyone is aware of this, whereby for purchasing an airline ticket, there are different forms of risks, starting from psychological, social, and financial. Air accidents cannot actually be eliminated totally, though airlines' priority is always to reduce it. Airline safety has been measured in two ways. One is based on the individual passenger safety, and the other one is based on the luggage safety. This has been categorized into two categories too. However, there's something different on this, whereby all the researchers are supporting that airline safety will have positive influence towards customer satisfaction. However, some of the researchers have stated that safety is the most influential factors, whereby it means that safety is having a positive and significant influence towards customer satisfaction. This is being claimed by Abonaimi and Hatami and also Rioni and Vidayati. However, Klimis has stated that safety is less influential, which means that safety is not having any significant influence. What do he mean by that is that he is doing a research based on the business and educational traveler. For these travelers, they have no other choices other than just flying frequently. So that is why it comes to the result whereby safety becomes less influential. And for the last one is the DV, which is the customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is being defined as the favorable or unfavorable feelings of the consumer. Where the customer satisfaction is high, it is being believed that it will bring positive word in mouth and also customer loyalty. This will also lead to high in ROI, which is known as the return on investment. The outcome of the comparison between the airline performance and also customer expectation has led to the consumer generated content, which is the CGM. This will have potential influence to others' purchase intention. So next, I will pass to Anne to talk about the research methodology.
So next, I'm going to be talking about the research methodology. So the research instrument, it is a 5-point Likert scale being used in the study, which is 1 being strongly disagree to 5 being strongly agree. Agreement rating Likert scale will be used in this research in order to assist in prevention of hard questions like open-ended or fill-in-the-blanks questions. The population size, this study will be carried out in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and the target population for the study is 266,400 after splitting down the demographical level, population for young adults. Targeting generation is the Y generation, which is the young adults, ages between 18 to 25 years. The customer satisfaction will be either influenced by low-cost carriers, full-service carriers, both or no experience at all. The sample size, we're going to be using sample size calculator. So you key in the population, which is 7,997,000, then the marginal error, which is 5%, then confidence level, which is 95%, And then the minimum is going to come to 385 people. The sampling method, it is a non-probability sampling. According to Trochim, he mentions that non-probability sampling does not involve random selection. Young adults who have prior flight experiences that are living or working in Kuala Lumpur are to be taken into consideration during the sampling process. Moving on is the data analysis. There's going to be 5 different tests used to analyze the data. First one being the reliability test. This test is used when the researcher has multiple Likert scale questions. The scale is required to determine whether reliable or not. Normality test. This test is to see if variables are normally distributed. In our study, we're going to be using Shapiro-Wilk test, which is best utilized in this test to get efficient results. ANOVA test, it is testing whether the results are significant. The factors being analyzed is the difference between airlines' experience towards factors influencing customer satisfaction. For this research, one-way ANOVA will be used as the independent variables. For the differences, comparison is just one, which is the airline experiences. Fourthly will be Pearson's correlation coefficient, which is a technique to investigate the relationship between 2 quantitative and continuous variables. The strength of association is being analyzed with this test. So scatter plots will be used to analyze the data. If P is less than 0.05, then the results are significant. Lastly will be the regression test. It is the analyzing of the relationship between variables and how often they contribute to produce a particular outcome. Multiple regression analysis will be used in this research, whereby if we have X1, X2, X3, and Y1, then X1, X2, and X3 are the independent variables, while Y1 is the dependent variable. Output will then be analyzed based on the R squared, adjusted R squared, and standard error of the estimate. F-test will be conducted then to analyze the R squared. Regression analysis will be used in calculating beta values. And this is our references that we use in the research. And would like to thank you for listening into our presentation. Any questions can come in now. Thank you.